One phone call. That's all it takes. One call and you're done. Fired. Gone. Flipping burgers by next week. Those words echo through Providence Municipal Court on a cold Tuesday morning in February. The person saying them isn't a mob boss. He's not a CEO. He's a 23-year-old kid named Brayden Montgomery. And he just made the biggest mistake of his privileged life. If you believe that nobody should be above the law, no matter who their family is, you need to see what happens next. Because what Judge Frank Caprio does in the next hour will shock everyone in that courtroom. Let me take you back to where this all started. Case number 2025, TR 94562. The courtroom is packed. It's 9:15 in the morning. The bailiff, Officer Rodriguez, stands near the judge's bench. His uniform is pressed. His face is serious. He calls out the case number. Case 2025, TR 94562. State versus Brayden Montgomery. From the back of the courtroom, a woman stands up. Her name is Patricia Chen. She's 41 years old. She's wearing blue scrubs, the kind nurses wear. Her scrubs have coffee stains on them. Her hair is pulled back in a simple ponytail. No makeup. Dark circles under her eyes. She looks exhausted. Patricia walks to the front. Her hands shake a little. She's holding a folder. Inside are her bills. Medical bills. Her son has asthma. The medicine costs $400 a month. Her insurance doesn't cover all of it. She works at St. Mary's Hospital. Night shifts. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. 4 nights a week. She takes the bus to work. It takes an hour each way. She's here because 3 weeks ago, she got a parking ticket. She parked in a 2-hour zone. She stayed 3 hours. She was visiting her mother at a nursing home. Her mother has Alzheimer's. Patricia was feeding her dinner, helping her remember her own name. She lost track of time. The ticket is $75. It might as well be $7,500. She doesn't have it. "Good morning, Ms. Chen," Judge Caprio says. His voice is warm, kind. He's been a judge for 38 years. He's seen everything. He treats everyone with respect, rich or poor, young or old. "Good morning, Your Honor," Patricia says. Her voice is quiet, respectful. "I see you're here about a parking violation. Can you tell me what happened?" Patricia explains. Her voice cracks when she talks about her mother. Judge Caprio listens. He nods. He understands. Everyone in the courtroom feels for her. You can see it on their faces. Then the doors at the back of the courtroom slam open. Brayden Montgomery walks in. He's 23 years old. Tall. Maybe 6'2". Athletic build. He's wearing a Canada Goose jacket. The black one with the logo on the arm. It costs $1,400. Under it, a black Balenciaga hoodie. $890. Ripped designer jeans with an Hermes belt. The belt alone costs $950. On his feet, limited edition Nike Air Jordans. The ones that sold out in 3 minutes. He probably paid $2,000 for them from a reseller. On his wrist, an Audemars Piguet watch. If you don't know watches, that's a really expensive one. This particular model costs about $45,000. His phone is in his hand. AirPods Max on his ears. The silver ones. $550. He's not just listening to music. He's FaceTiming someone. Laughing. His voice carries across the courtroom. "Bro, I'm literally in court right now. This is so stupid. Yeah, some parking thing. I'll be out in like 5 minutes." People in the courtroom turn to look. Their mouths open in surprise. Patricia Chen steps aside. She watches him. Her face shows confusion. This is the person she's sharing a court date with? Officer Rodriguez steps forward. "Sir, you need to end that call and remove your headphones." Brayden holds up one finger. The universal, "wait a minute," gesture. But he doesn't say it politely. He says it like Officer Rodriguez is a waiter interrupting his dinner. "Hold on, I'm talking." Officer Rodriguez's jaw tightens. Judge Caprio watches from the bench. His face doesn't change. Not yet. But his eyes are paying attention. Very close attention. 30 seconds pass. Brayden is still on his call. Laughing. Talking about some party this weekend. Something about bottle service at a club. About his dad's boat. "Sir," Officer Rodriguez says again. His voice is firmer now. "End the call. Now." Brayden rolls his eyes. "Yo, I gotta go. These people are freaking out. Yeah, I'll call you back." He ends the call. Takes off his AirPods. Puts them in his pocket. Then he looks at Officer Rodriguez like he's annoyed. "Happy now?" Judge Caprio leans forward. Mr. Montgomery, please approach the bench. Brayden walks forward, but he doesn't walk normal. He strolls, like he's walking through his living room. His hands are in his pockets. He stops about 6 feet from the bench. Doesn't get closer. You need to come closer, sir, Officer Rodriguez says. Brayden takes 2 tiny steps forward, maybe 6 inches total. Then stops, smirks. Judge Caprio looks at him, studies him. Mr. Montgomery, you're here regarding case 2025, TR 94562. Do you understand why you're here today? Brayden shrugs. Some parking thing, I guess. Look, whatever the fine is, I'll just pay it. Can we make this quick? I have a tea time at noon. Judge Caprio doesn't react. Not to the rudeness. Not to the attitude. He's been doing this too long. He's dealt with people like Brayden before. But something is different about this one. Something in the way he carries himself. Like rules don't apply to him. Like he's doing everyone a favor by showing up. Mr. Montgomery, this is a courtroom, not a country club. When you address me, you say Your Honor. Do you understand? Brayden looks at him. For a moment, there's surprise in his eyes. Like nobody's ever corrected him before. Then he laughs. Not a big laugh. A small one. Under his breath. Like this is funny. Sure. Your Honor. The way he says it, you can hear the quotation marks around the words. Mocking. A woman in the second row gasps. Quietly. But in the silent courtroom, it's loud. Patricia Chen looks down at her feet. She feels embarrassed. Embarrassed that she's in the same room as this person. That they're being treated the same way. Judge Caprio picks up a paper from his desk. Reads it. His reading glasses sit on the end of his nose. He looks over them at Brayden. It says here you parked in a handicapped spot. No handicap placard. No disability. The parking enforcement officer approached your vehicle. A 2024 Range Rover. Is that your vehicle? It's one of them, Brayden says. Then he smiles. Like he's proud. I also have a Tesla and a Porsche. But yeah, that day I took the Range Rover. One of them, Judge Caprio repeats slowly. I see. And when the officer approached, you were still in the vehicle. He asked you to move. What happened then? Brayden shifts his weight, puts his hands in his pockets. I told him I was just running in to grab something. Like 2 minutes. He got all worked up about it. Judge Caprio looks at the report again. It says here you told the officer, and I quote, do you know who I am? My uncle is the governor. You should probably walk away. The courtroom goes quiet. Dead quiet. You could drop a pin, and everyone would hear it hit the floor. Brayden's smirk doesn't fade. If anything, it gets bigger. I mean, yeah. It's true. My uncle is Governor Montgomery. I was just stating a fact. A man in the back row stands up. Officer Rodriguez looks at him. The man sits back down, but his face is red. Angry. Patricia Chen stares at Brayden. She can't believe what she's hearing. Judge Caprio sets the paper down, folds his hands on the desk. Mr. Montgomery, that handicapped spot. Do you know why those exist? For disabled people, Brayden says. Like it's obvious. Like the judge is stupid for asking. That's right. For people who have trouble walking. People who need to be close to the door. People who are in wheelchairs. People who are elderly. People who are injured. Those spots exist to help them. Do you understand that? Yeah, I get it. But like I said, it was 2 minutes. Nobody was using it. Judge Caprio nods slowly. 2 minutes. And what were you running in to grab that was so important? Brayden hesitates. For the first time, he looks uncomfortable. Just some stuff. What stuff, Mr. Montgomery? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. What was so urgent that you needed to park in a handicapped spot? Brayden sighs. Like this is so annoying. Energy drinks. I was grabbing energy drinks from a convenience store. Red Bull. The tropical flavor. They were out of it at the other store. The courtroom erupts. Nodding, yelling. In shocked whispers. People turn to their neighbors. Did he really just say that? Energy drinks. He parked in a handicapped spot for energy drinks? Patricia Chen's eyes fill with tears. Not sad tears. Angry tears. She parks legally every single day. Walks extra blocks to feed her parking meter. Rushes back to her car during her lunch break to make sure she's not over the time limit. And this person parks in a handicapped spot for energy drinks. Judge Caprio writes something down. His pen moves slowly across the paper. Deliberate. When he looks up, his face is still calm. Still professional. Mr. Montgomery, let me ask you something. Do you know Patricia Chen? Brayden looks confused. Looks around. Who? Judge Caprio gestures to Patricia. She's standing off to the side, trying to be invisible. Ms. Chen. She's here for a parking violation too. Would you like to hear her story? Brayden looks at Patricia. Really looks at her. Takes in her stained scrubs. Her tired face. Her cheap shoes. He shrugs. Not really. Look, Your Honor, no offense to her or whatever, but can we just handle my thing? I already said I'll pay the fine. Just tell me the number. Judge Caprio's eyes narrow. Just slightly. You'll hear her story, Mr. Montgomery. Because in my courtroom, everyone matters. Not just people who can afford to pay fines. Brayden shifts his weight. Looks at his watch. The $45,000 watch. Taps it. Like he's showing the judge he has places to be. Judge Caprio turns to Patricia. Ms. Chen, please tell Mr. Montgomery why you're here. Patricia looks scared. She doesn't want to talk. But Judge Caprio's eyes are kind. Encouraging. She takes a breath. I parked in a 2-hour zone. I stayed 3 hours. I was visiting my mother. She has Alzheimer's. She doesn't remember me most days. But that day, she did. She smiled at me. She said my name. I wanted to stay with her. I fed her dinner. I brushed her hair. I lost track of time. Her voice cracks. She pauses. Swallows hard. I work night shifts at the hospital. I'm a nurse. I take care of people after their surgeries. I make sure they're okay. I work 4 nights a week. Sometimes 5 if they need me. My son has asthma. His medicine costs a lot. The parking ticket is $75. I don't have it. Not right now. I'm asking if I can pay it in payments. Maybe $15 a month. I know that's asking a lot, but that's all I can afford. She stops talking. The courtroom is silent. Every single person is looking at her. Even the court reporter has stopped typing. There are tears in some people's eyes. Brayden stands there. He's looking at his phone now. Scrolling through Instagram. Not even listening. Judge Caprio sees this. His jaw tightens. Mr. Montgomery, put your phone away. Brayden looks up. Annoyed. I was just checking something. Put it away. The tone has changed. Judge Caprio's voice is still controlled. But there's steel in it now. Brayden hears it. For a moment, just a moment, fear flashes across his face. He puts his phone in his pocket. Did you hear Ms. Chen's story? Judge Caprio asks. Yeah. Sure. That's rough, I guess. Rough, you guess. Brayden shrugs. I mean, yeah. It's sad or whatever. But that's not my problem. Everyone has problems. She made a choice to stay too long. She has to pay the consequences. That's how life works. The courtroom explodes. People are yelling. Standing up. Officer Rodriguez holds up his hands. Order. Everyone sit down. It takes a full minute for the room to calm down. Patricia Chen is crying now. Actually crying. Her hand covers her mouth. A woman next to her hands her a tissue. Judge Caprio doesn't say anything. He just stares at Brayden. Studies him. Like he's trying to understand how a person gets this way. How someone becomes this disconnected from other people's pain. Mr. Montgomery, let me make sure I understand you correctly. You believe that Ms. Chen should pay the consequences for her actions. Is that right? Yeah, that's what I said. And you believe that everyone should follow the rules. Pay their fines. Accept responsibility. Exactly. Judge Caprio nods. Good. I'm glad we agree on that. Because you're absolutely right. Everyone should follow the rules. Everyone should accept responsibility. Including you. Brayden's smirk returns. Right. So just tell me what I owe. I'll Venmo it right now. Or Apple Pay. Whatever you take. Judge Caprio picks up another piece of paper. This one is different. It has a city seal on it. Official. Before we get to that, Mr. Montgomery, I need to inform you of something. After you receive your parking ticket, 3 phone calls were made to this courthouse. Would you like to know who made those calls? Brayden's face changes. The smirk fades. Just a little. I don't know what you're talking about. The first call came from a man named Richard Montgomery. Your father. He called the clerk's office. He suggested that this ticket should be dismissed. He mentioned his brother, the governor. He mentioned donations his company has made to various city programs. The courtroom is silent. Everyone is leaning forward, listening. The second call came from a lawyer, Brendan Walsh from Walsh & Associates. Very expensive law firm. He also suggested the ticket should be dismissed. He indicated there would be legal action if it wasn't. Judge Caprio looks directly at Brayden. The third call came from the governor's office itself. Not the governor, but someone who works for him, chief of staff, also suggesting this ticket should go away. Brayden's face is red now. I didn't make those calls. No, you didn't. But you knew about them, didn't you? I don't have to answer that. Judge Caprio smiles. It's not a warm smile. You're right. You don't. But your text messages might answer for you. He picks up another paper. This one has screenshots on it. Text messages. Enlarged. Easy to read. These were submitted by the parking enforcement officer. You texted someone while he was writing your ticket. Would you like me to read them? Brayden says nothing. His hands are out of his pockets now, clenched at his sides. Judge Caprio reads anyway. Text sent at 10:47 a.m. on January 29th. To Dad. Quote, some rent-a-cop is giving me a ticket. Can you make this disappear? It's not even a real spot. Just a handicap thing. End quote. People in the courtroom gasp. A handicap thing. He called it a handicap thing. Judge Caprio continues. Response from Dad at 10:52 a.m. Quote, already on it. Don't stress. This will be gone by tomorrow. End quote. Another text. 11:15 a.m. To Uncle Rob. That would be the governor, I assume. Quote, got a stupid parking ticket. Can you handle it? These people don't know who they're messing with. End quote. The courtroom is frozen. Nobody moves. Nobody breathes. Response from Uncle Rob at 11:30 a.m. Quote, I'll have Michael make a call. Don't mention this to anyone. End quote. Judge Caprio sets the papers down. Looks at Brayden. Do you have anything to say about these texts, Mr. Montgomery? Brayden's face is completely red now. His hands are shaking. But not from fear. From anger. Those are private. How did you get those? The parking officer saw you texting. After multiple attempts at interference with this case, a subpoena was issued for your phone records. All perfectly legal. All approved by a judge. Just like everything else in this court. So I'll ask again. Do you have anything to say? Brayden takes a step forward. His voice rises. This is ridiculous. So what if my dad called? So what if my uncle's office called? It's a parking ticket. This is insane. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Nothing. Judge Caprio's voice is quiet. Dangerous quiet. Attempting to interfere with the judicial process is nothing. Using your family's influence to escape consequences is nothing. Parking in a handicapped spot for energy drinks is nothing. It's a spot. Just a spot. Nobody was using it. How do you know? What? How do you know nobody needed it? Were you watching the parking lot? Counting disabled people? Or did you just not care? Brayden's mouth opens. Closes. He has no answer. Judge Caprio continues. What if someone did need that spot? What if an elderly person had to park 3 rows away? Had to walk an extra 100 yards? In pain? What if someone in a wheelchair had to roll through the rain because you took their spot? For energy drinks. That didn't happen. But it could have. That's the point. The rules exist for a reason. They protect people. People who need protection. People who can't just shrug it off. People like Ms. Chen, who followed the rules her whole life. Who asked politely for help. Who takes responsibility. Unlike you. Brayden's fists clench tighter. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You're right. I don't. So tell me. Tell me about you. Tell me about your life. Tell me what you've accomplished on your own. Without your dad's money. Without your uncle's name. Silence. Nothing. No job. No achievements. No struggles you've overcome. More silence. Let me guess. You went to private school. Your dad paid for it. You went to college. Your dad paid for that too. You have an apartment. Your dad pays your rent. Those cars you mentioned. Your dad bought them. That watch on your wrist. That $45,000 watch. Your dad bought it. Am I right? Brayden's voice is quiet now. Defensive. So what? That's not illegal. Lots of people have help from their families. You're right. It's not illegal. And there's nothing wrong with families helping each other. But here's the difference, Mr. Montgomery. Most people who receive help are grateful. Humble. They understand they're lucky. They don't look down on others. They don't park in handicapped spots. They don't tell police officers, do you know who I am? They don't call parking enforcement officers rent-a-cops. Every word lands like a hammer. Brayden takes a step back. His face is still red, but now there's something else there. Uncertainty. Judge Caprio isn't finished. You want to know what really bothers me about this case? It's not just the parking ticket. It's not even the phone calls. It's your attitude. You stood here in my courtroom and said Ms. Chen should pay the consequences for her actions. You said everyone has to follow the rules. But you don't believe that. You believe rules are for other people. For people like Ms. Chen. Poor people. Working people. Regular people. Not for you. That's not. Yes, it is. That's exactly what you believe. And you know how I know? Because when you thought you could make this go away, you tried. When you thought your dad's money and your uncle's power could save you, you used it. You didn't think twice. You didn't feel guilty. You felt entitled. The courtroom is completely silent. Brayden stands there. For the first time, he has nothing to say. No comeback. No excuse. The smirk is completely gone. Judge Caprio leans back in his chair, takes off his glasses, rubs his eyes. When he speaks again, his voice is tired. Sad almost. I've been a judge for 38 years, Mr. Montgomery. I've seen thousands of cases. I've seen people at their best and their worst. I've seen poor people who made mistakes, who took responsibility, who apologized, who tried to do better. And I've seen rich people who thought they were special, who thought money could buy them out of trouble. You know what the difference is. Brayden doesn't answer. The poor people who take responsibility, they learn, they grow, they become better. The rich people who hide behind money, they never learn. They just keep making the same mistakes. They hurt people. They destroy things. And they never, ever understand why people are angry at them. Judge Caprio puts his glasses back on, picks up his gavel. The weight of it seems heavier than usual. So here's what's going to happen, Mr. Montgomery. You said you'd pay the fine. You said you want to take care of this quickly. Well, you're going to get your wish. Sort of. Brayden's shoulders relax slightly. He thinks this is over. He thinks he's about to pay and leave. He has no idea what's coming. The fine for parking in a handicapped spot is typically $250. But given the circumstances, I'm increasing it. Your fine is $2,500. Brayden's eyes widen. What? That's insane. Judge Caprio holds up his hand. I'm not finished. In addition to the fine, your license is suspended. For 180 days. 6 months. You can't do that. I absolutely can. And I am. 6 months. No driving. You want to go somewhere. You walk. You take the bus. You call an Uber. But you don't drive. Do you understand? Brayden's hands are shaking now. Really shaking. This is crazy. You're abusing your power. No, Mr. Montgomery. I'm using my power. Exactly as it was intended. To hold people accountable. To protect the vulnerable. To ensure justice. Now, as I was saying, I'm not finished. The courtroom is electric. Everyone is on the edge of their seats. Patricia Chen has stopped crying. She's watching. Her eyes wide. You're going to complete 200 hours of community service. 200 hours. Yes. And not just any community service. You're going to work at St. Mary's Hospital. The same hospital where Ms. Chen works. You're going to work in the janitorial department. Cleaning floors. Emptying trash. Scrubbing toilets. Whatever they need. Brayden's face goes pale. Actually pale. You want me to clean toilets. I want you to do honest work. I want you to see what it's like to have a real job. A hard job. A job where people depend on you. Where you can't just quit when you're bored. Where you can't show up late. Where you can't be on your phone. This is punishment. Yes. That's exactly what it is. Punishment. Consequences. Remember? You said everyone should face consequences. Well, these are yours. Judge Caprio picks up another paper. Reads it. Your shifts will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. 8 hours. Every single weekend for the next 6 months. That's impossible. I have plans. I have things to do. Cancel them. This is what you're doing now. You'll report to Sandra Williams. She's the janitorial supervisor. She's worked there for 22 years. She's tough. She's fair. And she doesn't care who your uncle is. You show up on time. You work hard. You follow her rules. If you don't, you'll face additional penalties. Brayden's breath is coming fast now. Panic is setting in. This is too much. You can't. In addition, Judge Caprio continues, his voice cutting through Brayden's protests, you're going to write a letter of apology. Not typed. Handwritten. A real letter. At least 1,000 words. You're going to apologize to the parking enforcement officer you disrespected. You're going to apologize to Ms. Chen for your comments about her. You're going to apologize to this court for your behavior today. And you're going to explain what you learned. What I learned. Brayden's voice cracks. I haven't learned anything except that this system is rigged. Judge Caprio's eyes flash. That was the wrong thing to say. The absolute wrong thing. Rigged? You think this system is rigged? You, who has had every advantage in life. You, who has never been hungry. Who has never worried about rent. Who has never had to choose between medicine and food. You think the system is rigged against you. Judge Caprio stands up. He never stands up during sentencing. But he does now. His voice fills the courtroom. Let me tell you about rigged, Mr. Montgomery. Rigged is when you work 2 jobs and still can't pay your bills. Rigged is when you get sick and have to choose between seeing a doctor or keeping your electricity on. Rigged is when your car breaks down and you lose your job because you can't get to work. That's rigged. You have everything. And you're complaining because finally, someone is holding you accountable. The courtroom erupts in applause. People are standing, clapping, cheering. Officer Rodriguez doesn't stop them. Not this time. He's nodding too. Brayden stands there. His face is white. His hands are shaking. His expensive watch catches the light. But it doesn't make him look powerful anymore. It makes him look small. Pathetic. A child playing dress-up in adult clothes. Judge Caprio waits for the applause to die down. Sits back down. Now, Mr. Montgomery, I saved the best for last. Brayden looks at him. Tears are forming in his eyes. He's trying to hold them back. Trying to stay tough. But he's breaking. You're going to create a public service announcement. A video. You're going to talk about the importance of handicapped parking spots. About respecting people with disabilities. About following the rules even when nobody's watching. About how privilege doesn't exempt you from responsibility. This video will be shown at the DMV. At high schools. At community centers. Your face will be on it. Your name will be on it. Everyone will know what you did. No. Brayden's voice is barely a whisper. Please. No. Yes. And you're going to do it right. No lawyer-written script. Your own words. Your own face. Your own accountability. If the court determines the video isn't sincere, you'll make another one. And another one. Until you get it right. Brayden's legs are wobbling. He reaches out, grabs the table for support. His lawyer, who has been silent this whole time, finally speaks up. Your Honor, I need to consult with my client. Your client had plenty of time to consult with you, counselor. He chose to spend that time on his phone, instead, so he can deal with the consequences alone. Judge Caprio looks at Brayden again. Furthermore, Mr. Montgomery, you're going to attend a victim impact panel. Once a month for 6 months. You're going to hear from people who were hurt by drivers who didn't follow the rules. People who were hit by cars. People who lost loved ones. People whose lives were destroyed by someone's carelessness. You're going to sit there. You're going to listen. And you're going to think about what could have happened. About who could have been hurt because you needed energy drinks. Tears are falling down Brayden's face now. Actual tears. His $1,400 jacket seems to weigh 1,000 pounds. His $45,000 watch might as well be made of lead. And one more thing. This is the most important thing. Are you listening? Brayden nods. Can't speak. Too overwhelmed. You made a comment earlier. Do you remember what you said to me? Brayden shakes his head. Judge Caprio pulls out another paper. Reads from it. When I told you to put your phone away, you said, and these are your exact words, 1 phone call. That's all it takes. 1 call and you're done. Fired. Gone. Flipping burgers by next week. The courtroom goes silent again. Everyone had forgotten about that. The opening quote. The threat. Did you say that, Mr. Montgomery? Brayden nods. Barely. A tiny movement. That statement, Mr. Montgomery, is contempt of court. It's a direct threat against a sitting judge. It's an attempt to intimidate this court through the promise of outside interference. Do you understand how serious that is? Brayden's crying harder now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was just talking. I didn't. You meant it. You absolutely meant it. You thought you could scare me. You thought you could make me back down. You thought your uncle's power extended into my courtroom. Well, it doesn't. No one's power does. Not the governor's. Not the president's. Not anyone's. In this courtroom, the law is the only power that matters. Judge Caprio picks up his gavel, holds it. For contempt of court, I'm sentencing you to 15 days in county jail. The courtroom explodes. Not in applause. In shock. Actual jail time. 15 days. Brayden's legs give out. He falls to his knees. Please. Please, Your Honor. Please don't do this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Please. He's sobbing now. Full-on sobbing. Snot running from his nose. Tears soaking his expensive hoodie. His hands are clasped together. Begging. Please. I'll do anything. I'll do all the community service. I'll make the video. I'll apologize to everyone. Just please don't send me to jail. Please. Judge Caprio watches him. There's no satisfaction on his face. No joy. Just sadness. Sadness that it came to this. That someone had to be broken down completely before they could learn. Mr. Montgomery, look at me. Brayden looks up. His face is destroyed. Red. Puffy. Wet. Do you understand now? Do you understand what it feels like to have no power? To beg for mercy? To hope someone will show you kindness? Brayden nods. Can't speak. Just nods. Good. Because that's what Ms. Chen felt when she came here today. Powerless. Scared. Hoping for mercy. The difference is she deserved it. You don't. Not yet. Judge Caprio sets down his gavel. Here's what's going to happen. I'm suspending the jail sentence. For now. If you complete every single requirement I've given you, if you show up on time, if you work hard, if you show genuine remorse, the jail sentence will be waived. But if you miss even one day of community service, if your apology letter isn't sincere, if your video is fake, if you show up late even once, you'll serve the full 15 days. Plus additional penalties. Do you understand? Brayden nods frantically. Yes. Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet. You haven't done the work. And work is exactly what this is going to be. Real hard, exhausting work. The kind of work Ms. Chen does every single day. The kind of work millions of people do. People you've never noticed. People you've never thought about. You're going to notice them now. Judge Caprio turns to Officer Rodriguez. Get him up. Officer Rodriguez helps Brayden to his feet. Brayden can barely stand. His whole body is shaking. The confident young man who walked in 45 minutes ago is gone. Completely gone. In his place is someone broken. Someone scared. Someone who just learned that actions have consequences. Judge Caprio isn't done. He turns to Patricia Chen. She's been standing there the whole time. Watching. Barely believing what she's seeing. Ms. Chen, regarding your parking ticket. After hearing your circumstances and reviewing your record, which shows no prior violations in 20 years of driving, I'm dismissing your ticket. You owe nothing. Patricia's hands go to her mouth. Your Honor, thank you. Thank you so much. You don't need to thank me. You took responsibility. You showed up. You told the truth. That's all I ever ask. Now, I'm also going to do something else. The court has a victim assistance fund. It's designed to help people in difficult circumstances. I'm authorizing a $500 payment to you from that fund. To help with your mother's care. To help with your son's medicine. To help however you need. Patricia bursts into tears. Real tears. Relief tears. Joy tears. $500. That's 2 months of her son's medicine. That's visits to see her mother without worrying about gas money. That's breathing room. Thank you, she sobs. Thank you so much. God bless you. The courtroom applauds again. This time longer. Louder. People are wiping their own tears. Even Officer Rodriguez has watery eyes. Judge Caprio looks at both of them. Patricia Chen and Brayden Montgomery. 2 people. Same courtroom. Same judge. But treated completely differently. Because circumstances matter. Character matters. Respect matters. This court is adjourned. Mr. Montgomery, you'll receive all your paperwork within 48 hours. Your first community service shift is this Friday at 5 a.m. Don't be late. He bangs his gavel. The sound echoes through the courtroom. Brayden stumbles toward the door. His lawyer follows. People watch him go. Some with satisfaction. Some with pity. Some with both. Patricia Chen walks toward the judge's bench. She wants to say something. Anything. but words fail her. Judge Caprio sees her, nods, understands. Sometimes thank you isn't enough. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes you just acknowledge the moment and move on. She leaves the courtroom. Outside, the sun is shining. The world looks different somehow. Brighter. She pulls out her phone. Calls her son's doctor. "Hi, yes, this is Patricia Chen. I can pay for this month's medicine. Yes, the full amount." Inside the courtroom, Judge Caprio sits alone. The next case isn't for 10 minutes. He thinks about Brayden Montgomery. About whether the kid will actually learn. Whether he'll show up on Friday. Whether this moment will change him or just embarrass him. He thinks about the 3 phone calls. From the father. From the lawyer. From the governor's office. All trying to make this go away. All trying to protect Brayden from consequences. Not from love. From pride. From image. From the inconvenience of having a nephew in trouble. He thinks about what would have happened if those calls had worked. If he had dismissed the ticket. If Brayden had walked away smirking. Would Brayden have learned? No. Would he have done it again? Definitely. Would someone have gotten hurt eventually? Probably. But now there's a chance. A small chance. That this moment changes something. That Brayden shows up on Friday at 5 a.m. That he puts on work gloves and cleans floors. That he sees real people doing real work. That he understands, maybe for the first time in his life, that he's not special. That he's not above anyone. That his uncle's name doesn't protect him from his own choices. Judge Caprio hopes so. He really does. 3 weeks pass. It's Friday morning. 4:55 a.m. St. Mary's Hospital. The janitorial break room. Sandra Williams stands by the time clock. She's 53 years old. Strong. Tough. Fair. She's been doing this job for 22 years. She's seen everything. Lazy workers. Good workers. Workers who talk big and quit after one day. She's not expecting Brayden Montgomery to show up. Rich kids never do. They send their lawyers. Ask for extensions. Find loopholes. But they don't show up to clean toilets. 4:58 a.m. The door opens. Brayden walks in. He's not wearing designer clothes. He's wearing plain jeans. A simple gray t-shirt. Old sneakers. No watch. No jewelry. No phone in his hand. His eyes are red. He looks like he hasn't slept. He probably hasn't. Sandra looks at him. Surprised. "You're Brayden Montgomery." "Yes, ma'am." "Ma'am, that's different. You're early." "I didn't want to be late." Sandra hands him a vest. It's bright orange. Has community service printed on the back in big black letters. Everyone will know. Everyone will see. Brayden takes it. Puts it on. Doesn't complain. "You'll be working with Miguel today. He's going to train you. You do what he says. No questions. No complaints. Understood?" "Yes, ma'am." Miguel appears. He's 62 years old. Been working here for 35 years. Hands like leather. Back that aches every morning. But he shows up. Every single day. "This the kid?" Miguel asks. "This is him," Sandra says. Miguel looks Brayden up and down. "You know how to mop?" "No, sir." "You know how to empty trash?" "No, sir." "You know how to do anything?" Brayden hesitates. Then quietly, "No, sir." Miguel grunts. "At least you're honest. Come on. We start in the emergency room. It's the worst. Blood. Vomit. Everything. If you're going to quit, you'll quit there." They walk through the hospital. It's early. Still dark outside. But inside, the hospital is alive. Nurses rushing. Doctors checking charts. Patients moaning. Machines beeping. They reach the emergency room. Miguel hands Brayden a mop and bucket. "See that floor? Someone threw up there 20 minutes ago. Clean it." Brayden looks at the floor. His stomach turns. He can smell it from here. For a moment, he considers running. Just leaving. Taking the jail time. Anything but this. But then he sees her. Patricia Chen. She's walking down the hallway, carrying a tray of medicine. She sees him. Stops. Their eyes meet. She doesn't say anything. Doesn't smile. Doesn't gloat. Just looks at him. Then nods. Once. A tiny movement. That nod says everything. Says, "This is my life. This is what I do. Welcome." Brayden picks up the mop. Dips it in the bucket. Starts cleaning. Miguel watches. Waits for complaints. They don't come. For 8 hours, Brayden works. Really works. He mops floors until his arms ache. He empties trash bins full of needles and bandages and things he doesn't want to think about. He scrubs toilets. He cleans blood off walls. He does everything Miguel tells him to do. He doesn't complain. Doesn't check his phone. Doesn't mention his uncle. At 1 p.m., the shift ends. Brayden's back hurts. His hands are raw. His clothes are dirty. He smells like hospital disinfectant and sweat. Sandra checks his time card. You made it through one day. 199 hours to go. See you tomorrow. 5 a.m. Don't be late. Yes, ma'am. Brayden walks out of the hospital. The sun is bright. Too bright. He shields his eyes. His car is gone. Impounded. Part of a license suspension. He has to take the bus home. The bus stop is 2 blocks away. He walks there. Stands with other people. Working people. Tired people. People wearing hospital scrubs and fast food uniforms and construction gear. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody cares. He's just another person waiting for the bus. The bus comes. He gets on. Pays his fare. Sits down. Looks out the window. For the first time in his life, Brayden Montgomery is invisible. Just another face in the crowd. Just another person going home after work. And somewhere in his exhausted, aching body, something small begins to change. 12 weeks later. Judge Caprio's chambers. Morning. There's a knock on the door. Come in, Judge Caprio says. The door opens. Brayden Montgomery walks in. He looks different. Thinner. Harder. His hands are calloused. His face is tired but awake. Alert. Present. Your Honor, you wanted to see me? Sit down, Brayden. Brayden sits. Nervous. Wondering if he did something wrong. Judge Caprio has papers on his desk. Reports from Sandra Williams. Every single shift. Every single hour. All documented. I've been reading your progress reports, Judge Caprio says. Sandra says you haven't missed a single day. Haven't been late once. She says you work hard. Don't complain. She says the other workers respect you. Brayden nods. I'm trying, Your Honor. I also watched your public service announcement. The video. Brayden winces. That video was hard. Admitting what he did. Explaining why it was wrong. Looking into a camera and being honest. Really honest. It took 5 tries before the court approved it. It was good, Judge Caprio says. Sincere. Real. I believe you meant every word. I did, Your Honor. Judge Caprio picks up another paper. This is your apology letter. The one you hand-wrote to the parking officer. To Ms. Chen. To this court. It's 1,847 words. Far more than required. Why? Brayden thinks about his answer. Because 1,000 words wasn't enough. I had more to say. Judge Caprio reads from a letter. I thought I was special. I thought my family's name made me better than other people. I thought rules were for poor people. For weak people. For people who didn't matter. I was wrong about everything. I've spent 12 weeks working with people I never noticed before. People like Miguel, who has worked at the same hospital for 35 years. People like Sandra, who raised 3 kids while working nights. People like Patricia Chen, who works harder in one day than I've worked in my entire life. These people are special. They're strong. They matter. I'm not special. I'm just lucky. And I almost wasted that luck being cruel. Judge Caprio sets the letter down. You wrote that? Yes, Your Honor. Every word. No help from your lawyer? No, sir. Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. Studies Brayden. Sees someone different from a kid who stood in his courtroom 3 months ago. What happened to you, Brayden? Brayden takes a breath. The second week, there was a car accident. A teenager, 16 years old. He was texting while driving. Hit a minivan. A family was inside. The mom and 2 kids were okay. But the dad died. Right there, before the ambulance even arrived. He pauses. His voice gets quieter. Miguel and I had to clean up after. There was blood. And broken glass. And the dad's phone was still there. Still playing music. Some country song. And I realized that could have been me. Not the victim. The driver. I could have hit someone. Killed someone. Because I was too entitled to park legally. Too impatient to walk an extra 30 feet. Too selfish to think about anyone but myself. Tears form in Brayden's eyes. But he doesn't hide them. Doesn't wipe them away. Just lets them fall. I'm ashamed, Your Honor. Of who I was. Of what I said. Of how I treated people. I can't change the past. But I'm trying to change the future. Judge Caprio is quiet for a long moment. Then he opens a drawer, pulls out an official document. I'm terminating your probation early, Brayden. Brayden's eyes widen. Sir, you've completed 96 of your 200 required hours. All of them exemplary. You've made your video, written your letters, attended your victim impact panels. You've done everything asked of you, and more. I'm releasing you from the remaining requirements. I don't understand. You've learned the lesson. Really learned it. Making you complete the other 104 hours isn't about justice anymore. You understand consequences. You understand responsibility. You understand that your actions affect other people. That's what I wanted. That's what the court wanted. Brayden sits back, stunned. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much. I'm also restoring your driver's license. Effective immediately. But Brayden, hear me clearly. This is a second chance. You don't get a third one. If you come back to this courtroom, if you show me that you didn't learn, that this was all an act, I will throw every book I have at you. The 15-day jail sentence will be enforced. Additional charges will be filed. I will make sure you face the full weight of the law. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. I understand. And I promise, you won't see me again. Not like that. Judge Caprio stands up, extends his hand. Brayden stands too, shakes it. The judge's grip is firm, warm. What are you going to do now? Judge Caprio asks. Brayden smiles. Small. Real. I talked to Sandra. She said there's an opening in the janitorial department. Part-time. Weekends. I asked if I could apply. Judge Caprio's eyebrows raise. You want to keep working there, even though you don't have to? I need to, Your Honor. I need to remember. And honestly, it feels good. Working. Really working. Earning something. I've never earned anything before. Judge Caprio smiles. A real smile. Warm. Proud. That's good, Brayden. That's really good. What did Sandra say? She said she'd think about it. Said I have to compete with other applicants. No special treatment because I'm the governor's nephew. And what did you say? I said that's exactly what I want. No special treatment. Just a fair chance. They stand there for a moment. Judge and defendant. Teacher and student. Two people who, 3 months ago, were on opposite sides of a battle. Now, something different. Something better. Good luck, Brayden, Judge Caprio says. Thank you, Your Honor. For everything. For not giving up on me. For teaching me. For caring enough to be tough. Brayden turns to leave. Reaches the door. Then stops. Turns back. Your Honor, I need to tell you something. About my uncle. The governor. Judge Caprio's face becomes serious. What about him? After my sentencing, he called me. Told me I embarrassed the family. Told me I should have fought it. Appealed. Used better lawyers. He was angry. Really angry. And what did you tell him? I told him the judge was right. That I deserved everything I got. That I'm grateful. He hung up on me. Haven't talked to him since. Judge Caprio nods slowly. How do you feel about that? Brayden thinks about it. Sad. But okay. Because I know I'm doing the right thing. And that's worth more than his approval. He leaves. The door closes behind him. Judge Caprio sits back down. Opens his notebook. The one where he writes personal notes about cases. Cases that matter. Cases that stick with him. He writes, Brayden Montgomery. Case 2025, TR 94562. Transformation achieved. Sometimes the hardest sentences create the best outcomes. Sometimes breaking someone down is the only way to build them back upright. I hope he stays on this path. I believe he will. He closes the notebook. Looks at the next case file, on his desk. Life goes on. Justice continues. But this moment, this case, this will stay with him forever. 6 months later, Patricia Chen is walking through St. Mary's Hospital. Her shift just ended. 7 a.m. The sun is rising. She's tired but smiling. Her son's asthma is under control. Her mother had a good week. Remembered her name 3 days in a row. She's walking toward the exit when she sees him. Brayden Montgomery. He's mopping the floor in the main corridor, wearing the same orange vest from before. Community service on the back. But wait. He finished his service months ago. Why is he still here? Patricia walks over. Brayden. He looks up. Smiles. Hi, Miss Chen. How are you? I'm good. But why are you still here? You finished your hours. Brayden sets down the mop. I work here now. Real job. Sandra hired me. I've been here for 4 months. Patricia's mouth opens in surprise. Really? Really? 3 days a week. Weekends plus Mondays. It works around my class schedule. Class schedule? Yeah. I enrolled at community college. I'm studying social work. I want to help people. People who need it. People like. He trails off. Doesn't finish the sentence. Doesn't need to. Patricia's eyes fill with tears. Happy tears. That's wonderful, Brayden. That's really wonderful. Ms. Chen, I never properly apologized to you. Not really. What I said in that courtroom. About your problems not being my problem. About you choosing to stay too long. I was cruel. Heartless. I'm so sorry. Patricia reaches out. Touches his arm. I forgive you. You've changed. Anyone can see that. I'm trying. Every day I'm trying. They stand there for a moment. Two people. Different worlds. Different lives. Brought together by chance and by justice. I should let you work, Patricia says. Have a good day, Ms. Chun. You too, Brayden. She walks away. Turns back once. Sees him mopping. Working. Present. Outside, she pulls out her phone. Takes a picture of a sunrise. Sends it to her son with a message. Good morning, baby. Mommy loves you. Today is going to be a great day. And it is. Across town, Judge Frank Caprio sits in his chambers. He doesn't know about Brayden's job. Doesn't know about his classes. Doesn't know about the conversation in the hallway. But somehow he knows. The way judges sometimes do. The way people who dedicate their lives to justice can sense when it works. He smiles. Opens his case files. Another day. More cases. More people needing guidance. Needing fairness. Needing someone to hold them accountable while still believing they can change. That's his job. That's his calling. That's what he does. And he wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. 1 year later. A high school auditorium in Providence. Career day. Students fill the seats. Restless. Bored. Waiting for speakers. Most career day speakers are boring. Talk about college. About resumes. About things teenagers don't care about. But today is different. The principal walks to the podium. Students, our next speaker has a unique story. Please welcome Brayden Montgomery. Brayden walks onto the stage. He's 24 now. Looks older. Mature. He's wearing simple clothes. Jeans. A button-up shirt. No designer labels. No gold chains. No expensive watch. He stands at the podium. Looks at the students. Takes a breath. 2 years ago, I was the worst version of myself. The students quiet down. That's not how most speakers start. I thought I was special. I thought my family's name made me better than everyone else. I thought money made me important. I was wrong about all of it. For the next 30 minutes, Brayden tells his story. All of it. The parking ticket. The phone calls. The texts. The courtroom. The judge. The punishment. The breakdown. The work. The change. He doesn't hide anything. Doesn't make excuses. Just tells the truth. The students are silent. Completely silent. Listening. Actually listening. I'm telling you this because some of you have what I had. Not money, but something else. Talent. Intelligence. Looks. Athletic ability. Something that makes you feel special. And you might be tempted to think that makes you better than other people. It doesn't. It just makes you lucky. He pauses. Looks at them. Really looks at them. What you do with that luck. That's what matters. You can waste it being cruel. Being selfish. Being entitled. Or you can use it to help people. To make things better. To be someone who matters for the right reasons. He holds up a photo. It's him. Wearing the orange community service vest. Mopping a floor. This is me at my lowest point. Broken down. Humiliated. Ashamed. And you know what? It's the best thing that ever happened to me. Because it taught me who I really was. And who I wanted to be. A girl in the front row raises her hand. What do you do now? Brayden smiles. I work at a hospital. Janitorial department. I'm also in my 2nd year at community college. Studying social work. I want to work with at-risk youth. Kids who are heading down the wrong path. Like I was. Another student raises his hand. Do you talk to your uncle? The governor. Brayden's smile fades. No. We haven't spoken since my sentencing. He wanted me to be ashamed of what happened. To hide it. To pretend I was the victim. But I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm proud. Proud that I learned. Proud that I changed. Proud that I'm trying to be better. The bell rings. The students don't move. Nobody wants to leave. Finally, slowly, they start to stand. But they're not rushing out. They're coming forward, wanting to talk, asking questions. Brayden stays, answers every question, listens to every story. Some students tell him about their own mistakes, their own struggles, their own fears of becoming someone they don't want to be. He listens to all of them, really listens, the way Sandra listened to him, the way Miguel listened to him, the way Judge Caprio listened to him. An hour later, the auditorium is empty. Just Brayden and the principal. That was powerful, the principal says. The students really connected with you. Thank you for having me. Would you come back? Maybe once a month? Talk to students who are struggling. Brayden thinks about it. About his schedule, his work, his classes. It would be hard. It would be exhausting. Yes, he says. Absolutely yes. He walks out of the school. Gets into his car. Not a Range Rover. A 2015 Honda Civic. Bought with his own money. From his own job. It has 140,000 miles on it. The air conditioning doesn't work great. The radio gets scratchy sometimes. It's perfect. He drives home. Past the courthouse where everything changed. He slows down. Looks at it. Wonders if Judge Caprio is in there right now. Helping someone else. Teaching someone else. Changing someone else's life. He hopes so. At a stoplight, his phone buzzes. A text from Sandra. Miguel fell. Hurt his back. Can you cover his shift tomorrow? Brayden texts back. Of course. I'll be there. The light turns green. He drives. Just another person in traffic. Going about his day. Nothing special. Nothing extraordinary. Just someone who learned. Who changed. Who became better. And really, that's the most special thing of all. In Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, another case begins. Different defendant. Different circumstances. Same judge. Same commitment to justice. Same belief that people can change. He doesn't know about Brayden's speech. Doesn't know about the students he inspired. Doesn't know about the shifts he still works or the classes he attends. But somewhere in the quiet moments between cases, he thinks about that day. That case. That kid who walked in arrogant and walked out broken, but better. He thinks about Patricia Chen. About the $500 that changed her month. About justice that sees people. Really sees them. He thinks about the 3 phone calls that tried to interfere. About the privilege that tried to buy its way out. About the system that held firm. And he knows beyond any doubt that he did the right thing. That being tough was being kind. That consequences create change. That's not always true. Sometimes people don't learn. Sometimes they stay broken. Sometimes they get worse. But sometimes they become better. Sometimes they transform. Sometimes they prove that people are worth fighting for. Worth believing in. Worth giving a second chance. Brayden Montgomery was one of those people. And that makes every difficult decision worth it. Every hard sentence justified. Every moment of doubt answered. Judge Caprio picks up his gavel. Looks at the defendant before him. A young woman. Scared. Humble. Made a mistake. He listens to her story. Really listens. Sees her. Really sees her. And he does his job. The job he's done for 38 years. The job he'll keep doing as long as he can. Dispensing justice. With wisdom. With fairness. With the understanding that everyone deserves to be treated as a human being. Rich or poor. Powerful or powerless. Connected or alone. In his courtroom, everyone gets the same thing. Truth, accountability, and a chance to be better. That's justice. Real justice. The kind that changes lives. The kind that builds better people. The kind that makes society work. And in a world that often feels unfair, where privilege seems to win and the powerful seem untouchable, Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom is a reminder. A reminder that sometimes, just sometimes, the system works. Justice prevails. And people can change. Money can buy many things. Expensive cars. Designer clothes. Gold watches. Luxury vacations. Lawyers. Influence. Phone calls from governors' offices. But it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. It cannot create character. It cannot make you a good person. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Because justice isn't for sale. It's earned. Through responsibility. Through accountability. Through the hard work of becoming someone worth respecting. Brayden Montgomery learned that lesson. The hard way. The best way. The only way that really matters. And now, one person at a time, one shift at a time, one student at a time, he's passing that lesson on. That's his redemption. That's his justice. That's his life now. And it's better than anything his uncle's name could ever give him.